Hafeez, we saw Bangladesh. We know how much potential's within their ranks with bat and ball. And they finally got the job done and into a Super 8. Are you surprised?
Not surprised. We all know that they can do that. But overall, if you look at the journey they had during the World Cup, they always been underperformed. So this time, I think the series before the World Cup they had with the US, obviously they were on a defeating side. But they came strong after that. The way they came back from that defeat, the way they shown a right body language and the character towards the game of cricket. And especially I'm really impressed the way they fought against South Africa in a game in New York, because that was a game given them a great confidence. And winning these kind of a matches always boosts your confidence as a team. Every individual start believing in themselves when you restrict a total which can easily be chased. So I think as a team they must be on a boost. It will be a morale booster for them from where they can lift themselves higher and they can have all the right momentum into the Super 8. So I expect them to do well, because the two giants of Asia, Pakistan and Sri Lanka, is out of the competition. So I personally would like to see them doing well and going into the Super 8. Into the semis.
Perhaps a new superpower in the Asian world of cricket. And Bangladesh.
Their performance has been really, Mari, really confusing to follow, because at home they're so great. I mean, they have that potential. Whenever teams visit, they're dominating. But away, they've mostly struggled, especially in the white ball formats. But what will you say on Bangladesh's qualification in the next round, and what can they threaten? How can they threaten the other teams, especially the likes of South Africa and Australia?
Yeah, firstly, congratulations to them. The first time they've got through to the Super 8s in a World Cup, and they've played some really, really good cricket. They've been on some tough surfaces, which their bowlers have been able to exploit. And really, they haven't been chasing that bigger totals, which is a testament to how they've bowled and how they've utilised the conditions that they've been put in front of them. I mean, their seam bowling unit has been fantastic. The spinners have done a really, really good job, and they've backed them up in the field as well with some really good fielding. So they've actually been one of the all-round better teams, I think, in this tournament, and they came close against South Africa and probably should have beaten them, but they fell on the wrong side of that result. But all in all, they played really, really well. On your point about being so strong at home and away, they're just so used to playing in those conditions in Bangladesh, aren't they? It's, Hafeez, you've played there, Yunus, you've played there. You go there and you just feel like everything's against you as a touring player. I haven't played there that much, but having watched from back home and hearing what other guys have said, it's just so hard. It's so hot. It's humid. The ball's spinning square. The ball pitch in the same place. One will spin. One will keep low and skid through. So you never know sort of where you stand when you're over there. And then when they come to New Zealand, I've obviously never played them much outside of New Zealand. They just look all at sea. It's like they haven't prepared. They're unsure of what to do. But, in saying that, they beat us at home 2 summers ago in a test match. So they are starting to learn and they are starting to get better. So, years to come, they could be a bit more of a challenge away from home.
Completely different conditions, obviously, when you come across to the likes of Australia and New Zealand. That bounce is a lot more consistent, a lot higher than they're used to playing. And I guess perhaps the fact, Yunus, that we're in the Caribbean now as well, some of these decks will actually really suit the likes of their bowling unit. And we always say how important it is to have a quality spinner, and they've got those in spades, but it was the fast bowlers that did the job for them over in St Vincent in the early hours of this morning. Tanzim Hassan was just absolutely brilliant, completely unplayable. How impressed have you been at the rise of the fast bowlers in the Bangladeshi ranks over the years?
And this is the nature of the game. You use your condition well, especially Bangladeshi players and team. They when they play at home, so they use the condition well. And it is not only Bangladesh; it's similar to Australia, to New Zealand. They use their condition very well. So, but nowadays they have the quality fast bowler, and they have the 2 senior guys like Sakibul Hasan and Mahmudullah. Mahmudullah is the guy who have all the experience in this T20, the white balls, and the Test cricket as well. So I think now they know that it is beyond the personal achievements. So they're now playing like as a unit, and they deserve to be in this Super 8. And I hope they will be somewhere. They will be tried to somewhere that in that fourth position. So I think it is a good chance for them to just if they turn on and they play as a team, they have a good chance to reach that semis.
चले एक क्विक नजर डालते हैं मैच समरी पे भी। आज बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग, एक बार फिर एक लो स्कोरिंग थ्रिलर हमें देखने को मिला, बट नेपाल वन द टॉस एंड पुट बांग्लादेश टू बैट फर्स्ट एंड ऑफ कोर्स शाकिब विद 17। एक कलेक्टिव बैटिंग फेलियर हम इसे कह सकते हैं, या थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम एरिया नजर आया वंस अगेन विद द बैट। रिशाद हुसैन विद 13 ऑफ 7 इन द एंड, चिपिंग इन दोज क्रूशियल रन्स। तस्कीन अहमद विद 12। बॉलिंग अगर हम देखें नेपाल की तो बहुत सुपर्ब स्पेल्स उनके बॉलर्स ने किए टू रिस्ट्रिक्ट बांग्लादेश टू 106. We saw Lamishen, pick up a couple of wickets earlier this morning, and of course, Dapinder Singh once again picking up a couple as well. अगर हम चेस की बात करें तो नेपाल ने स्टार्ट में कोशिश ज़रूर की उनके ओपनर्स ने, लेकिन उसी कोशिश की वजह से वो जल्दी भी आउट हो गए. एंड आसिफ शेख with 17. We saw Kushal Malla with 27 of 40. He took his time there, but in the end couldn't finish the run chase. Dipendra Singh Airy 25 as well from him. But जवाब में जो बांग्लादेश की बॉलिंग थी वो इतनी शार्प थी, एंड ऑफ कोर्स आप देख सकते हैं कि तंजीम और मुस्तफिजुर रहमान दोनों के spells बहुत ज़बरदस्त हैं. Worth talking about. 4 wickets for Tanzim and 3 for Mustafizur, and of course Shakib picking up a couple as well. And Bangladesh won the match by 21 runs, which puts them through to that Super 8 stage. Qualify कर चुके हैं वो next just below South Africa with 6 points, and Sri Lanka, Netherlands and Nepal of course have been knocked out of this World Cup. But unfortunately Nepal couldn't win the game, but they did put up that fight. हफीज़, हमने बॉलिंग के साथ भी देखा कि पहले तो बांग्लादेश को रिस्ट्रिक्ट करना, एंड उसके बाद फिर बैटिंग में उनके प्लेयर्स वो उस तरह से कंस्ट्रक्ट नहीं कर पाए, ना पार्टनरशिप्स लग सकी. और वंस अगेन द ओपनर्स, वी हैव सीन ओपनर्स स्ट्रगलिंग टू गेट दोज पार्टनरशिप्स गोइंग इन दिस वर्ल्ड कप. अगर हम अक्रॉस जितने भी अभी तक हमने मैचेस देखे हैं, क्या वजह या कंडीशंस इस तरह की हैं? क्योंकि यूएसए का लेग तो अब ख़त्म हो गया, अब सारे गेम्स वेस्ट इंडीज़ में आ गए हैं, बट फिर भी ओपनर्स उस तरह से जो है वो यूटिलाइज नहीं कर पा रहे पावर प्ले को.
रोहा, सबसे पहले तो अगर आप बात करें नेपाल की, तो ये उनका लर्निंग फेज़ है. इंटरनेशनल स्टेज, आईसीसी इवेंट के अंदर रिप्रेजेंटेशन, पार्टिसिपेशन, और इनके जितने प्लेयर हैं ये इनको बहुत ज़्यादा सीखने को मिलेगा. नंबर 1 तो ये तो एक पॉजिटिव साइन है कि इन्होंने जो 2 मैच खेले, आई एम रियली इम्प्रेस्ड. एक तो साउथ अफ्रीका वाला मैच जीतना चाहिए था इनको, लेकिन ये नहीं जीत सके. लेकिन स्पिरिटेड परफॉर्मेंस थी, बहुत शानदार परफॉर्मेंस थी. आज के मैच में भी ये जो हमने देखा है, इसमें भी अगर आप जाएँ तो इन्होंने बांग्लादेश को मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम मुश्किल हालात में रखा और अपना कंट्रोल रखा गेम के ऊपर. देखें, जब ऐसे जगहों पे आप एक एमेच्योर टीम के तौर पर, या ऐसी टीम जो भी लर्निंग फेज़ में होती है, या जिनका इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट इतनी स्ट्रांग नहीं हुई होती, उनके लिए इस तरह के टफ़ सिचुएशन के अंदर, टफ़ कंडीशंस के अंदर परफॉर्म करना और उसको जीतना, ये एक लर्निंग फेज़ है, एकदम से नहीं आएगा. तो मेरा ख्याल है कि ओवरऑल दे शुड बी हैप्पी, दे शुड बी वेरी प्राउड ऑफ देमसेल्व्स एज ए टीम. जिस तरीके से उन्होंने ये टूर्नामेंट खेला, दे प्लेड बेटर क्रिकेट दैन मैनी ऑफ द जायंट्स ऑफ द गेम. अगर आप इस फूल में अगर जाएं तो मेरे ख्याल में ज़्यादा स्पिरिटेड जो क्रिकेट थी वो नेपाल ने खेली है, ना कि श्रीलंका ने. श्रीलंका लुक लाइक दे वर हैविंग नो आइडिया कि वो आए किस लिए हो. एक वजह होती है ना आपके आने की. जैसे पाकिस्तान की अगर हम बात करें तो पाकिस्तान से हम ये एक्सपेक्ट नहीं करते थे, जिस तरह टूटी हुई बिखरी हुई टीम हमें नज़र आई. ये वो मसाइल हैं जो आपको, जब आप बहुत बड़े हो जाते हैं ना, जब बहुत बड़े हो जाते हैं तो फिर ऐसे मसाइल आते हैं. अब ये बड़े नहीं हैं, इनके पास बड़ा एक्सपोजर नहीं है, लेकिन इनकी जो स्पिरिट है टू रिप्रेजेंट द कंट्री, जो फैन फॉलोइंग इनके पीछे, जो पुश मिलता है इनको, इन्होंने अपना आउट ऑफ द स्किन जाके जो है वो परफॉर्मेंस दी है, क्योंकि इनको पता था कि यही स्टेज इनको बार बार नहीं मिलनी. तो जब जो हंगर और वो जो डिटर्मिनेशन है वो मुझे नेपाल की टीम में नज़र आई. और आई थिंक कि अगर मैं बात करूँ नीदरलैंड की, तो उनसे भी बेहतर ये क्रिकेट खेले. तो हार जीत मुझे कोई मैटर नहीं करता, बट दिस टूर्नामेंट परफॉर्मेंसेज सो फार विल गिव देम अ ग्रेट बूस्ट एज ए टीम. और इनकी जो मैनेजमेंट बैक होम होगी वो इसको बड़ा पॉजिटिव ले और मज़ीद फैसिलिटेट करे नेपाल को, आईसीसी मज़ीद फैसिलिटेट करे नेपाल को, या इन जैसी और जो टीम्स हमने देखी हैं जिन्होंने अच्छा परफॉर्म किया इस टूर्नामेंट में. जितना ज़्यादा अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलेगी, जैसे आयरलैंड इज़ टोटली अंडर परफॉर्म, सबसे ज़्यादा मोस्ट एक्सपीरियंस टीम हो के भी हमें वो चीज़, वो जो एक टीम यूनिटी या एक टीम लड़ते हुए नज़र आनी चाहिए, वो नहीं नज़र आई. पाकिस्तान के भी इशूज़ रहे, श्रीलंका के इशूज़ रहे, इसलिए ये बाहर हुए हैं. ये टीम, मैं ये समझता हूँ कि इन्होंने जिस तरीके से पूरा शो जैसे वर्ल्ड कप खेला, इनका बहुत शानदार फ्यूचर नज़र आ रहा है. इनको जितनी ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर मिलेगा, जितना ज़्यादा इनकी लुक आफ्टर की जाएगी, जितना ज़्यादा इनको प्रोफेशनल वे में डील किया जाएगा, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट की जाएगी, तो आप देखिएगा कि अगले 5 सालों में, 8 सालों में ये अच्छी जगह पे खड़े होंगे.
But because it's Eid today, we'll not talk about Pakistan's performance in this World
Please.
Cup. I just want to have one day where there's no stress in studio.
Please.
We can just have a normal discussion about the teams that are still in the running.
Sure, but I think exactly what you said, Hafeez. I hope that the Nepalese cricket fans and the team alike are so incredibly buoyed by the success that they've had. The scoreboard is not an apt representation of just how far they've pushed some really quality sides, and we can see the impact that the work that they've done in Nepalese cricket has done. They're well and truly arrived on the international stage now, and they've got some performances they should be really proud of from some different names that we're not used to seeing from Nepalese cricket as well, knowing that Sandeep Lambachani missed a number of those games early on. So well done, Nepal. Such a wonderful effort. You've got some of the best fans going around, and I just know, based on this performance, that this is not the end for Nepalese cricket. This is just the beginning, and we so hope that this experience has, really encouraged you all to reach for bigger and greater heights, because there's just so much potential there within your ranks. Which brings us to Bangladesh, a side that is threatened for so many years with all the potential in the world, but unable to sort of extricate the right performances at the right times in the pressure tournaments of ICC competitions. So to know that they've now defended, Guppy, the lowest ever total in an ICC T20 World Cup, 106, as we take a little look at that graphic there, successfully defended, top of that scoreboard there. South Africa, look at the number of titles though that have been defended in 2024, goes to show how tricky the wickets have been in this edition. But to know that they now have the performers within their side, we talk about scoreboard pressure when you're batting first, but lack of scoreboard pressure is as much a pressure when it comes to trying to bowl a side out. But when you've got Tanzim Hassan 4 for 7 with the new ball for Bangladesh, let's relive the innings that he performed with the ball early on. I mean, you're behind the 8 ball from ball 1, and you feel like you could defend absolutely anything if you've got him on your side.
You've just gone the whole Bangladesh as a whole. Like, just remember, they knocked England out of the 2015 World Cup. So they have got the talent. They've had the talent for a long time. They just haven't been able to put it together. But, Tanzim has been really impressive this World Cup. He's got great rhythm. He's got the ball on the string. He's got a bit about him too. He was in. I saw a clip online today that he was getting up in the Nepalese batter's face, having a bit of a staring contest, and then a few words as well.
Spice going on as well.
Maybe got a little bit lucky with a couple of those wickets there. The short and wides, one hit straight to point. But as I said yesterday, that's cricket. That's the way it can go sometimes. But he's just hitting the same area, same length, letting the pitch do the rest of the work, and just keeping it really simple. He's obviously got some great advice. I know their bowling coach very, very well, and Andre Adams. I played a lot of cricket with him, and he was a phenomenal bowler. So he's got some really good guidance in behind him, and he's reaping the rewards for that. So it's really impressive to see.
And just on Andre Adams, just before we head to the next star performer with the ball, what kind of a person is he, and what would he be bringing to the side? Because we're seeing a lot of international coaches now that are working with different teams all over the world. Obviously, Pakistan with Gary Kirsten as well. Yeah. People are looking for answers from people that they haven't had experience from before. What kind of a coach is he? And obviously what he's doing is absolutely working a treat with the Bangladeshi bowlers.
Yeah, let's not forget how good a bowler he was first. He's got all that experience playing for Auckland. He only ever played one test match for New Zealand. Possibly could have played more, wasn't to be. But then he played, I can't even count how many years. He played for Nottinghamshire, then went to Hampshire, went back to Notts to finish his career. So, he's got all that experience of playing pretty much all year round.
A lot of domestic cricket.
A lot of domestic cricket, learning his craft, learning his trade. And he was one of the worst bowlers to face in the middle, because he didn't have a very big run-up, but he was shoulder bowler, and if you got on his wrong side, things just started to come out about 5 to 10 k's quicker, and he could really get that ball up here, but just would be always there or thereabouts around the off stump, shape it away, nip it back, and he's either got you bowled or hit right in the front of the stump. So you're a really tough bowler, but all of that experience, he's got all of that knowledge, and he's just imparting it onto these the Bangladeshi bowlers. And he's not only going to have a plan A, but there'll be a plan B and a plan C for if things go wrong, which doesn't look like they're needing at the moment. So, look, he's bringing such a, and he was a bowling coach at Auckland for a while, and from there he's gone on to coach in the Big Bash. He's coached New South Wales. He's got all this extra experience under his belt before going on to coach the Bangladeshis. So he's learned his trade. This new trade that he's got going, and it's really going
their culture
well.
as well. That different kind of
Absolutely, he's been learning all through, and he's done a great job so far. I'm not sure how long his contract is, but you know, under
But they
him,
need him.
They,
Yeah.
well, they do need him. Yeah, and they're
Hold
playing
on
so
for
well
dear
under
life.
him.
I think,
And
by the
especially
sounds of it.
if your team's struggling with the fast bowlers, so they need him.
Absolutely. I mean, look at the way that Tuscan's come on in the last couple of years, and Andre can only make him better. I faced him throughout my career, you know, and the last time I faced him, he looked like we felt like he put on a bit of pace, and he also had better control than what he did when he was younger. So Andre can only make him a better bowler in my eyes.
You know, some of I talked earlier about Mushtaq Ahmed in the Bangladesh team because the leg spinner was always a missing part, and they brought someone who can guide that guy in a right possible way. And then if you go around some of the teams like Afghanistan is taking the I think.
Jonathan Trott, head coach.
No,
as
Jonathan
well.
Trott is a coach, but the bowling coach from the conditional help.
Yeah, he's playing for.
DJ Bravo is there to helping them. Pollard is with the England team. So
that's
you
right.
know, to some of the teams, whoever took that right decision to induct some of the to take a conditional help, or whoever can help in that particular tournament, because these tournaments give a great impact to the whole generation. Because you never wanted to have a bad tournament, ICC tournament, because it can take the fans away from you. So I think most of the management, most of the cricket board made a right decision, and they brought some of the right people induct into this tournament,
main
and
point,
they're making the difference at the moment.
Well, a very clinical and compelling performance from Bangladesh to secure their place in the Super 8. हम बात करें उनके bowling performance की. Once again, their bowlers stepped up, और इस World Cup में back-to-back bowling figures अगर हम देखें, bowlers have been doing spectacularly well. Every single match we are seeing some of the best spells we have seen in the T20 format, and once again, Bangladesh की तरफ से वो bowling effort हमने देखने को मिला, not just from the spinners, but this time it's the pacers who are also doing the job. As with, of course, Afghanistan में भी हमने देखा तो एक अच्छा shift आ रहा है. हर टीम अपने strengths को test कर रही है. They're putting all of their bowlers to use. यहाँ पे एक break लेते हैं.